in a more devastating manner, having suffered a sudden cardiac arrest, we miss him so dearly. May I crave your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen, and dear colleague, for us to rise for a minute's silence in his honor and for the continual repose of his lovely soul. This Izochukwu Nwabua continue to rest in perfect peace. Today, we will be unveiling the bylaw of MDCAN HNB as we pay glowing tributes to our immediate past chairman, late Dr. Francis Nwabua. It is pertinent to mention that the journey of this dream come true actually began in his tenure. After a series of painstaking consideration of the document during this outgoing tenure, I'm glad to say that we shall be presenting to every of our members a copy of the first ever produced bylaw in book form for Delta State HNB chapter of MDCAN. It is heartening to mention that during this tenure, one of our members, Dr. Mrs. Mininim Ibireo Seji, was appointed the head of service Delta State. Some persons wondered why we celebrated Dr. Seji the way we did. We did because this is the first time a medical doctor and a member of MDCAN HMB will be so appointed to that exalted office in the history of Delta State. We were happy because history was being made, and it happened in our time. Somebody said, to God be the glory. So we had no other choice than to celebrate her and wish her well in her service to Delta State. She was actually sworn in on the 10th of April, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, and it has become, our tradition in MDCAN HMB Delta State. We shall, at the dinner this evening, be honoring a total of 9 of our consultants who have retired from the services of Delta State government within the past 2 years and earlier, having served the state meritoriously. Why some retired on the ground of age, others retired voluntarily. 2 of our retirees we are honoring today we actually mixed out in the 2023 BGM sent forth ceremonies. So we have 9 today that will be sending forth formally. Those we are sending forth today include the following: Dr. Albert Nkemcho, a radiologist; Dr. Stephen Amaluku, an obstetrician and gynecologist; Dr. Benjamin Ojekodo, still ONG; Dr. Mark Agadas, ONG specialist; Dr. Peter Devia, radiologist; Dr. James Eguterai, orthopedic surgeon; and Dr. Thomas Adiki, orthopedic surgeon; Dr. Cecilia Vera, radiologist; and Dr. Vincent Uziga, ONG specialist. At the moment, we have less than 70 consultants in all our HMB hospitals in Delta State. And I'm glad that the board chairman is here, and also representing the commissioner as well, in dual capacity here today, so he can hear us very clearly. You can see the number of still very active consultants that have left the service of Delta State within a very short while. Replacing those who are leaving the system has remained a Herculean task. This is part of the reasons why MDCAN, as a body, at the national level, has been calling for the increase of retirement age of consultants to 70 years for those who are still strong and ready to work. I want to also use this medium to call on the state government to engage our retired colleagues who are still willing to be of service to the state government. This will also go a long way in bridging the manpower gap in this regard. The need for better welfare package and very friendly and enabling working environment for our medical and dental consultants can also not be overemphasized. Like you can see, some of our colleagues who choose to retire voluntarily may not have decided to do so if the working conditions and environment were extremely, juicy, as it were. Permit me to use this opportunity to congratulate Permanent Secretary HME Dr. State, Dr. Paul Okubo, and to also appreciate the effort of all our members during the recent visit of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, MDCN, for the re-accreditation and accreditation of 4 of our major hospitals, Warri, Ughelli, Agbo, Sap, and Sapele, for the training of medical and dental house officers. I thought someone would clap. That's a milestone achieved. Thank you. After I try to close this address, let me summarize some of the issues of great concern to MDCAN HMB. Board Chairman, sir, Honorable Commissioner also. Please, I would like you to listen to me very well here. Like I said, I want to summarize some of the issues of great concern to us as a body. And we hope that this message will get to the appropriate quarters. We have made several times, we have made some requests. And we want to ask that those, we want to say that some of these requests actually need attention, as it were, and as quickly as possible. Yeah. So for all the needs and assistance and that we're looking for, we do hope that we'll receive this thing from the state government and, of course, through the Ministry of Health. Because today, by the grace of God, will mark the end of my tenure as the chairman. We are actually transiting today from the present to a new leadership. So many issues on ground, which I believe that the incoming executive will also carry on. I'll keep on pursuing. And as immediate past chairman, by the end of today, working along with them as the S official. So together we will fight this fight, and I believe that we'll get result by the grace of God. Provision of cars for all our consultants by the government to ease movement to their places of work. We're all aware of the cost of maintaining cars now, the cost of fuel and all that. When you take away the cost of traveling from what we spend every month, discover that our salary is nothing to write home about anymore. 2, provision of bus for MDCAN HMB to enable better mobilization of our members to meetings. I'm glad you observed something a while ago, our chairman, Lord Chairman. Many of our members were not here, and you have to make comment on that. I must say, without mincing words, that MDCAN HMB is obviously the most difficult MDCAN chapters in Delta State to lead. For the simple reason that our members are scattered all over the state. Very much unlike FMT, where they can gather in one place all the time. Very much unlike Ash, very much unlike Desut, where they can all meet together in one place. But for us in MDCAN, we have to move from Warri to Eku, from Eku to Ole, from Ole to Kwale, Kwale to Agbo, Agbo to Asaba for the association. Also, the search for consultant for subspecialty trainings. I'm glad something like that was mentioned in the court of discussion earlier today. Re-engaging, our retired consultants, designated some Hoover in itself has a way of improving the quality of services in our hospitals. The climax of today's event, ladies and gentlemen, will be the handing over of the mantle of leadership to a new executive. As we look forward, the world is a room for improvement. We therefore look forward to better days ahead for HMB MDCAN Delta State. Appreciation. By way of appreciation, I must say that putting this event together has been very tasking. I want to sincerely appreciate all our local organizing committee members for their sleepless nights. So many times they had to meet. I want to thank every one of you. And that LOC is headed by Dr. Valentine Iziashi. Thank you all very much. This BGM is indeed one of the best organized BGM. I stand to be corrected. I want to say thank you all very much. God bless you all. We will keep improving with every event. To all our members of MDCAN HNB, you are all highly appreciated for the success of this event and for the support and cooperation accorded me as the chairman for the past 2 years, for which I do not take for granted. You are all wonderful people. I sincerely and passionately solicit for better support for the incoming executive. God's massive blessings be on you all. I thought someone would say amen to that. That's a prayer now. My special thanks also go to our chairman of this occasion, our special guest of honor, our team speaker and guest speaker, all our guests of honor, all our sponsors, too numerous to mention, the Ministry of Health Delta State, the PS HMB Delta State, members of NMA Delta State, our colleagues from our sister association, MDCAN Desut, FMC, Asaba, and ASH. To all the corporate bodies that are here, I want to say thank you. The pharmaceutical companies here present also want to say thank you. All our invited girls, special invitees, family members and friends of MDCAN HMB want to say thank you very much. Thank you all, thank you all, thank you all for honoring MDCAN HMB Delta State. Once again, I say welcome. And do have a rewarding time with us today. Make sure you are at the dinner later today. Don't be told what will happen in the dinner. I hope you're hearing me. Make sure you are at the dinner later this evening. Long live MDCAN HMB Delta State Chapter. Long live Delta State. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for our amiable chairman, Dr. Okolie. Now, the hour has come. Shortly, the team lecture of our BGM for this year to be delivered by Dr. Mrs. Caroline Nigeria, MNI, will be coming on. I would like to call on Dr. Orhuworun to come and give us a brief of who our lecturer is. A small boy like me cannot fit into that shoe. We need the shoe too big. Yes, that the shoe too big. So let's put our hands together as Dr. Orhuworun, our immediate past CMD HIB, gives us a brief of the team lecturer for this afternoon. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. I don't think I'm also a small boy to give this citation when it concerns Dr. Ms. Adria. But before I go further, I would like to respectfully call on her to stand up. It's not a command, but a respect for her. Indeed, it's a pleasure for me to be standing here to give a citation on somebody that personally had interest in me, even when I was dodging her. Chief Dr. Mrs. Adria Ni Eyesan was born 24th of December 1958. She's a Christmas baby. She just missed it by 1 day. Anyway, hence her name Caroline. Okay, in Sapele, Delta State. She attended schools. One, Ladilak Institute Primary School in Lagos, 1966 to 1971. Then he gained admission into the prestigious Federal Government College, Warri, Delta State. I remember some 2-3 years ago, I was also called upon to give a citation on Dr. Miso Moraka, who was then made a permanent secretary. And I remember saying that while at school, I saw Dr. Mrs. Omoraka's back, because I just entered when she was in class 5. And then, but for Dr. Mrs. Ajuya, I didn't see her shadow at all. She left for University of Benin, Edo State, 1977 to 1982, where she had her MBBS degree. After that, she also went, later in years, went to National Institute of 3 years ago. Is no mean feat. Some of us were not born. Thereafter, I think it was when she came back from residency in 1994. I was a medical officer. Because as of then, residency was a hard job. In fact, you were forcing people to go for residency. The life was very tough. It was a way. Was what actually made a way for us in later life. College of Physicians of London Overseas Training Scheme. She's a member of the National Institute, MIM. And of course, is a fellow of the Nigerian Cardiac Society, FNCS, 2019. Injury. In fact, now anybody want to go there. That was Nigeria before. 1983 to 19, just there in 1984, 7 to 1994. And then a registrar department of, in Central Hospital Warri, she was head of Department of Medicine and chief consultant cardiologist, 1999 to 2007. He was also a medical director there, 2000 and to 2001. Permanent secretary in the hospital in the Delta State Civil Service from 2007 to 2018, where she was in the hospital management board 2007 to 2016, and then agency for when she was our permanent secretary, Madam IGR, amongst other things she did, discipline and co, so many that too numerous to mention. In fact, as a matter of fact, this is an abridged version of a citation. If you should have the complete version, I don't think we leave here today. So she has just managed to give us this so that we can be fast with our activities. Membership position in socio-cultural, religious body, an important position. She was actually made a chief of the Warri Kingdom in 2016. Of course, she's a prominent member of the palace there, with a title, Olonu Rara, which means the light. And of course, we saw that light when she was in HMB. A chapter of the AGMPN. Awards and honors. 7, Distinguished of Excellence, University of Benin, 2014. Distinguished Service Award, Medical Women Association of Nigeria. Her hobbies include long-term teaching. Proud wife of late engineer Lawrence Orishebamigo Ajuya, and blessed with 4 children. Mofe note my life and the life of so many others. I'll just mention some of them. Onojeta, our permanent secretary, Dr. Paul Okubo, institute administrator, a quintessential teacher, a mentor, a consummate clinician and cardiologist. And a high chief in the Warri Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Dr. Mrs. Caroline Olumagi Ajuya.
Please be seated. By recognizing the presence of the Hospital Management Board, Dr. Paul. I think I heard Paul squared. So, Contributory Health Service Commission. The Permanent Secretary, Hospitals Management Board, the Chairman of the English Consultants, here present. And permit me to also say, the distinguished guests here present, you are all welcomed today. I will not bore you too much, but I want you to take a look at that picture. And we can proudly say that that's the past, where we started from. The next one, please. I am told, though, I didn't have opportunity of getting here, but I'm told that this is where we are today. And I was just wondering, next slide. Secretariat in, the key word in this lecture today is effective delivery. When you see the word effective, it refers to doing the right things to achieve a desired outcome. But it doesn't go alone. You must have efficient. Because the word efficient means that you will be doing the right thing at what? A minimal cost. The cost must come in. Without minimal cost, wastages and everything, the rule is that effectiveness always, and that takes me to the very effective that has come in there. Because effective cannot go alone. Centered, leading to improve. Just talking about the same definition. It must be accessible. Number 4. It must be efficient. No, not this slide. The one before. It must be efficient. And number 2, they will supervise the 3, 4, and 5, which is their main where you are. 1940 Midwestern region, 1963. And their hospitals were located in urban area. They were very selective. They have a form of medicines. Biennial states. Biennial states was a combination of Edo and Delta. And that cleavage eventually came on 1991. And that is how we now moved to Delta states. When I was until after I came back from my residency. I will also let you know that what is called Hospitals Management Board today was not Hospital Management Board then. It was State Health Management Board in Edo State. About that, 1980 hospital, it was still the State Health Management Board. Unfortunately, Management Board, it was Ministry of Health. And the hospitals were better catered. The creation of Delta States made us now to come. And coming back to Delta States, we all know what happened. I think Delta State was those states. We were, in fact, when I went to Justice, I think one day they were just talking about it, that they left every single thing for Edo State. So, although this time they had made it in regions, because when we were in Biennial State, they were just big hospital. You had the Auchi one, you had the Warri, you had the Saple. Those were the main hospitals that they had that time. So, starting a new state, starting Hospital Management Board, and gradually they grew their hospitals in numbers. By the time, but I am told that today we have 65. When I joined, was specialist hospital. As far as Brigadier General Husseini, he felt that that wasn't appropriate. There were so many schools of thought that when you say something is specialist, those specialists are only teaching hospital. This can't be specialist hospital. It was advised that our own tertiary centers, let us have a sub-unit where the general hospitals can actually now refer to our central or neuropsychiatric, orthopedics, and all the real equipment. I think most of you that came on board today, you know it as central hospital. But when I joined, it was specialist hospital. So with the creation of Delta State, if you go to the next slide, you need to know what obtains all over. I think, which one is this slide here? I think it's about the same thing. No, before Nigeria. That is from the primary to the secondary and the tertiary. But you and I know our problems today. And our problem today is that this system is supposed to be the village, so go to that primary health care center, probably will not answer you. Why? There's no doctor there. Because it needs to be administrators. So there are really, really issues. So that's one of the problems we inherited. That's why I'm telling you, is that I've spoken about this one. The main thing, like you'll see, is that hospital management board is supposed to use the secondary health facilities to achieve their aim. And the aims of hospital management board is to manage efficient delivery of medical services, maintenance of hospital facilities, and provision of modern facilities as usual, and management of the hospital if you have that infrastructure and everything. The most important thing, from my own experience, is that you must be able to manage work. You need a staff that will implement all what you want. Even if the equipment, there are not many. But if the staff, their attitude, their care for even the few things you have, if they can maintain it they can do that for you. I can tell you, I met as a young medical officer, because I was on entering that place. That's why you can see that the hospital that can order of the day for patients, for you to write things for patients to go and buy. And it's when you write those things that you can work. So who were we working for? We're working for all those people the first overnight. If you want anything at 2 a.m., if you want anything at 3 a.m. And so you can see that all our monies were just going. The IGR, what is even the performance of all these hospitals? Do you know what? The amount? 8. The highest amount was 12 million from how many hospitals in a year? Salaries, buy all these things, subsidize. So there was no doubt about that. So that was first main challenge that I saw. Then we went to, next one is the infrastructure. Management board, worry. Everybody knows Maple Annex, 2004. It had made what? 100. And it was built on, the decking there was wood. Nothing. So what am I saying? A lot of states had HMB. You know where patients were being made to fetch water from? The wells. We had plenty of wells. That's where they were. Go to the theater. So the level of the poor infrastructure that they cannot. In fact, some good ones were having, that one can never stop, whether there's jackpot or not. You overcome them at different, because there was nothing. You could prescribe any drug, and so people were going there, even laboratory tests and everything. We were actually working for. We've spoken about that. What about distribution? Today you have 11 zones. I think there's a center, there's a way they do it, 11 zones. And 11 zones, they have their central hospitals, at least about 6 central hospitals. That's in the Ijaw region alone, only that Burutu access. You create a place, you don't have get there, and you put a doctor there, and you to take care of the, it's conflict of interest. They send the names of their very best to be out there, but they accuse you of not looking. That's why we have a board, because when I became a PAMSEC there, I used to count members. And I remember that I was summoned in my own hometown in Koko, that I wasn't given. But thank God, equity means we have figures for equity, isn't it? How many people do you see? What do you generate? Why should I give you extra? So all those, what efforts did we make to at least attempt to look at these problems? You can see the way I have divided it. I've divided this in a hurry, not too much structure that you will be able to do it. And the medical supplies. Medical supplies is on this page, which I'm going to start with first. I told you that we were losing. First thing, Delta State was very lucky that 24. And Delta State was one of the states that were given the opportunity of the pilot project, because counterpart funding also came from Delta State. It was a 6-year World Bank assisted Delta State 1991. We were still using the trading partner that we're using in Biennial, which was very, very inefficient. So as that 6th year just expired for Delta State, it may have its own problems. Never mind. March 20th, 2000. The whole idea, same drugs, that not even what it is today. So I think these challenges of cost, but those ones you will face them, because I did that for with substandard drugs were brought, and because of that we were the one that promoted them, even though they had the support and they were reporting to Ministry of Health, but they needed us, just like what I'm going to work together. And all the time I was there as the permanent secretary, all the madams in drug revolving, they will come to me. Any complaint, any this, any that, and we worked together. Even when they were supplying things for empowerment that were not good. No. At a stage commission to work hand in hand with hospital management, but you need them all. Don't even make any attempt to destroy them. Destroy them, you destroy yourself. So you must work with them. And I had that's why I'm starting with that thing that we had. That's why till today, there is still that synergism with drug revolving. Drug revolving has been there since 2000. Are we not 25 years now? And they are still on board. At the end of the day, staff recruitment, I will tell you, when I entered that place, the difference was very clear. You will be seated there. It's not now. Now every doctor can be writing. One health assistant will just come to you. I beg, I won't go see that consultant. I beg, write for me, make I go see him. Ha! The next month again, everybody will be coming to you. They want to go and see the consultant. So I said, what's the difference? But the humiliation in the hospital was too much. It was in that hospital that I did my primaries and passed. And I was determined, because they said I had passed within under 1 year. And I was told that we had to wait for a minimum of 2 years before we'll be allowed for training. That training existed, Ofonye will tell you. But were people ready to go? No. Why were they called duty allowance that you are earning? Then when you go for this training, you will leave your family. And you will go, you have to rent a house. You have to be at that hospital, and they work you as a supernumerary. But you know the painful thing? They won't pay you call duty allowance. So, because we salvaged them, it took 2 people to salvage that system. Ugodaga, who later became a PAMSEC, Ministry of Health, and myself. We walked up to Mrs. Akele and told her, even before we started, after we just accepted that UBTH, that UBTH said they will not pay us call duty. How are we going to do this? She was looking at us. And what are you even going for? Physician. I don't need physician. But the one I want, if you were going for the gynae, if you were going for surgery, what need to do? Oh yeah, go and think outside the box and tell me what I should do. It took Peter and myself about 1 week. And we went to her, and we have found a solution. She was looking at us. She said, what's the solution? Inconvenience allowance. She looked. Said, okay, go. I'll think about it. She was so grateful to us. She wrote a memo that these people that are going on this program, inconvenience allowance, that the reason why people are not passing is because this was not there. How do they go and survive? They won't be paid call duty. They work there. That is your genesis of all the people that are going for residency that today are being paid. It took just jumping from one clinic to the other so that they can raise some funds to take back to their families. So what I'm saying is there are a lot of sacrifices you have to make. If you don't, and you don't think outside, it's not for yourself. You just want to do something so that this, and that made them to start employing more people. Because when we went, there will be vacancy, they will apply. So that staff recruitment, that was an opening for doctors that were going for on a residency program. Insufficient recruitment is there forever. And the PS, present PS will tell you what it takes when you are carrying a memo first to the commissioner. Because the man too is looking at it. What is the... But that is Nigeria for you. People are more interested in putting money to buy equipment, irrespective of the fact that you are not having sufficient, the personnel to do it are not available. So you have to fight. You have to, in fact, when you see me crawling with my file, it's as if it's my own personal thing. But we thank God. We thank God that most of the governors, they had health challenges one way or the other. And when they had the health challenges, they were more than determined to ensure that they helped other people. And more so, when they knew that we had good staff. I recall writing a medical summary for the sitting governor, Ibori, that time. And when he got to that private hospital in England, so this must be somebody from Lagos, because that Saudi hospital and everything, they always get all these referrals. And he told them, he narrated it to me. He told them that, it's not Saudi, it's not Lagos, my own state, Warri.